In the summer of 1995, Claire Anders received a letter that would change her life. The envelope, worn and yellowed at the edges, had been forwarded from her old apartment in Seattle. She'd left that place months ago, chasing a fresh start in a new town, away from the disappointments of her past. But this letter, with its faded postmark, had come from a time she'd tried to leave behind. Sitting on the floor of her tiny one-bedroom in Portland, Claire slit the envelope open with a butter knife, her mind half distracted by the humming sound of her old Walkman playing a Pearl Jam cassette. What she found inside stopped her cold. A notification from a law firm in New York. Her great-uncle Theodore, a man she barely remembered meeting as a child, had passed away, and to her complete astonishment, he had left her his entire estate. First, she thought it was some kind of mistake. She barely knew the man, having only visited him once at his mansion when she was 7. Yet the letter was clear. Theodore's inheritance, all of it. An expansive Victorian house in upstate New York, stocks, bonds, and a considerable amount of cash was hers. The next few weeks were a blur. Claire quit her job at the record store, packed up her meager belongings, and flew to New York. Arriving at the estate, she was greeted by a maze of dusty hallways and forgotten rooms, each one telling a story of another time. The house felt frozen in the past, much like the life her uncle had led, one of isolation and mystery. The money was real. Her lawyer confirmed it. Overnight, she had gone from scrounging to make rent to being a millionaire. It was dizzying. She wasn't used to this kind of life and wasn't sure she ever would be. But as the weeks passed, she found herself drawn not to the stocks or the bonds, but to the house itself. The creaky floors, the grand staircase, the old records her uncle had meticulously collected. They all whispered to her, offering a connection to something greater than the wealth. It wasn't just the money he'd left her. It was a legacy of forgotten dreams, lost chances, and a history she never knew she had. The world outside moved at a frenetic pace, but within the walls of her uncle's home, time seemed to stand still. The inheritance had given her the chance to stop running, to breathe, and to rediscover who she was beyond the struggle. And as the fall leaves began to gather in the yard, Claire realized that the real fortune she had inherited was the freedom to start anew, on her own terms.